Hey guys, Zack here, and I thought I would share some news with you guys. So, if you guys don't know, E3 got canceled. So, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on that. So, that's what this video is primarily going to be. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the announcement came this morning-ish. I found out last night, this morning-ish, that E3 was rumored to be canceled for 2020, and indeed it was. As earlier this morning, I found out later that yes, E3 is indeed canceled due to health concerns with the whole coronavirus thing, which has been a bit of a mess, because the coronavirus has claimed a lot of lives recently, and people have kind of been overreacting a little bit to it. I mean, yeah, it's still a tragic thing, but people have kind of been a little overzealous to jump the gun on it, and rather than see what it's going to do and how it's going to affect people, they decide, no, we're just going to cancel everything and then not worry about it later. So, but yeah, I mean, better safe than sorry. But I feel like the people have just kind of been jumping the gun a little bit on it because they feel like they wanted to make sure it's not a problem before it can happen. So they're trying to do their best to enforce that, which I can ultimately respect. But unfortunately, this meant that E3, one of the biggest companies one of the biggest expos in the entire world, got canceled this year after 24 years of going strong. So good on them. But the thing is, I'm kind of a little bit scared for the future of E3, because E3 got canceled because of a virus thing, and now it got canceled because of health concerns. But I'm more concerned about long term for E3, because E3 has had a lot of attendance drops lately. In the past couple of years, quite a few big name developers have left the stage and are no longer attending E3. EA started their own side thing. They started their own side convention that takes place around the same time as E3, which, given EA's track record, makes a little bit of sense. And then Activision and Blizzard both pulled out and are no longer part of E3. And starting last year, Sony decided to pull out and hasn't attended E3 last year, or possibly this year, because they weren't on the attendance sheet for who would be coming. And as of now, the only major players in the game development market are Microsoft and Nintendo. But even then, Nintendo has a booth, but because of their Nintendo Directs, they haven't had to make an actual keynote speech in years. So really, they're really just there in name only. They really haven't made They haven't really actually gotten up and made an actual speech about what's going on for the future of their games and what they plan to do in the coming year. So really, it just falls to Microsoft, who has basically been single-handedly carrying the entire E3 presentation on their back, which is and that's kind of a problem. I mean, a long time ago, E3 was like the big thing. Everybody wanted to bring their games to E3 and show off what it is they can actually do and what it is they actually made. But now, not so much. People have just decided it's not worth the hassle and have just stopped going. And now fewer and fewer developers have started to actually come to E3. And the coronavirus may or may not have been a convenient excuse for E3 to just kind of disappear for a little bit. At least until they're able to find a way to increase attendance next year. So yeah, the coronavirus wound up being a convenient excuse for them. I mean, granted, the coronavirus is a pretty big deal, so it's not surprising that they canceled it due to health concerns. But then again, it's currently early March as I'm recording this, and the E3 is set for July, which is a summer month, and viruses normally die off in higher heat. So as I said, they may have jumped the gun a little bit, because E3 is several months from now, and it's most likely the coronavirus will either be cured or just die off in the hot summer sun, one of the two. But yeah, E3 is kind of is kind of dying a little bit, and it is a little bit tragic because E3 for the longest time was a big part of a lot of people's lives. Because E3 has been going strong for 24 and a half years now, and this is the first time they've canceled ever. This is the first time E3 has ever been called off. So it begs the question of what's going to happen with E3 going forward. There's going to be an E3 in 2021, so it's not gone forever, but how are they going to handle E3 going forward? That's my major concern, because there's been a lot of attendance drop-offs. The coronavirus was a convenient excuse for them to cancel it this year because there was a couple of people that decided they didn't want to attend. So it begs the question of how are they going to handle E3 going forward. They said they were going to do like a Nintendo Direct style thing, where it's like an online presentation, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work, and I'm not entirely sure what it means for E3 going forward. Is there just not going to be conventions anymore, and E3 is just going to be relegated to this online show where anybody can just show up with their presentation and that'll be it? I don't know. Could E3 potentially come back in some way, shape, or form? It probably will. There probably will be like a live presentation or something, like online. But other than that, I have no idea how E3 is actually going to continue, because this is the first time ever that they've actually canceled E3. So it begs the question of how is E3 going to proceed going forward. Are they going to just convert it to an online format so that people will actually start attending E3 again? Or is it going to continue as always and they're going to try and boost their attendance numbers? I don't know. But for right now, it's tragic that E3 is not happening in 2020, and it scares me a little bit because E3 has had problems for a while with attendance, and it's entirely possible that them canceling it this year could permanently put it out of commission, as nobody is going to want to come next year. So yeah, it's scary. But in any case, that's my thoughts on the whole E3 is canceled thing. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Do you think E3 will come back, or do you think E3 might switch to a full online presentation and never actually meet up in person anymore, and never actually be an actual convention again? But yeah. I'm just a little bit concerned about what's going to go on with E3 going forward, and I hope you guys are as well. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that are my way of saying thanks. So, be sure to check those out in the description below as well. Again, it's only a couple bucks, so help support me, and I'll help support you guys in turn. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!